working. Over here. We have noise. This is good. So, good morning everybody. My name is Osa, and let me mute my monitor, and we are here on Farming Simulator 19 Oakfield Farm. It is Saturday morning, 5th of February, and we have a lot of red machinery about to be needed to be used in our fields. So, last of the harvest for this year. Going to take our little Valtra up the. Ooh, little Valtra needs diesel and the service. Well, we'll worry about that when he's done. So one of the advantages with this potato equipment is it will actually run on a worker, so I can just run this up and down. It creates double deep, or yeah, whatever. It creates windrows or rows of stuff that is deeper than a normal pickup. So we pick things up quicker, is the bottom line. So let us turn that on and off it goes. So all the potatoes get dropped in a row to the left, and then when he gets to the end he comes back and all the potatoes get dropped in the same row. And hopefully he should do okay, except for the fact there's a large swath of bad potatoes right in front of him. He's going to have problems. The next thing we haven't checked is, how's our silage doing? I think that's got a day to go. That's got a day to go, so that's fine. And we also have silage over here. Which is still fermenting. Okay, so what that means is it's time to take the sugar beet harvester down to wherever we planted the sugar beets. So this is going to be a major laborious day as we pull potatoes out of the ground and sugar beets out of the ground and attempt to ship them all back to the yard. Bubbly snowflake, yo, good morning and welcome to our Saturday morning stream. So yeah, the big news when I went to bed last night was Oxygen David has, whoops, wrong side of the road, submitted Calmsden Farm 2 Giants for review. And the big news of this morning was Giants have put it out on the mod hub, so yay. We now have Calmsden Farm 1.1, which has fixed a couple of glitches, and I don't think there was anything game breaking in it, but it just sort of fixes some things that weren't quite right. So things like the diesel tanks on the farms were worth about 400,000, so you could just sell those and then buy an in-game one for 10,000 or 5,000 or something. So not exactly a good thing if you wanted to not cheat in money, if you like. Field 23 was free, it's not anymore. And he has added sell points for oats and sorghum, which for some reason hadn't been included. But there's also a couple of other things that went live overnight. So obviously someone is working in Giants on Saturday, which not entirely expected. Meanwhile, here we got just under a foot of snow, so we haven't been going out many places this week. Helper G has completed their task. Helper G is mistaken. And since the Valtra is the only thing I've got running, it will be the potato harvest that is stuck. Yeah, you kind of went the wrong way, didn't you? Engine on. So, if I get this thing turned around, we are going to have to come in here and fix most of this, I think. But for the most part, I think if I set that up there, that's hopefully fine. Off you go. No? What's your problem? Off you go. Good job. I want to get over and look at this. Yeah, that looks like it's fully dug up, so yeah, the rows are this far apart each pass. So you're getting double the 1.5 meters, so that's a 3 meter swath of potatoes effectively, and then when we come through with the collector, it is pretty much just a case of picking stuff up. So the potato collector will fill faster than the normal harvester, but the harvester itself is only 1.5 meters, so this is a slightly quicker way of doing it, plus I can leave that on a worker and not have to worry about it because he's just dropping the potatoes on the ground. With the harvester you have to micromanage it because you need someone there unloading the harvester. So we will have pulled the potatoes out the ground, all we then have to do is pick them all up. Which, yeah, it's going to be laborious, but not much of a way round it. And I'm taking the time to run this over to the sugar beet field so we have at least something we can get loaded when we start. Then the sugar beet harvester, similar problem. It's going to pull sugar beets out really quickly. It'll fill this trailer up really quickly. And so we'll be running, I will have to run to and from the farm many times today. And so looking forward to Farm Sim 22 where I can set a worker to do that while I supervise other things. Of course, the news about Calmsden Farm probably means that everybody's just left and gone to download that. I have discovered a new Farm Sim streamer who came up with the Clarkson challenge for Calmsden Farm. Although some of his viewers suggested maybe the way he should have done it was you have to, he's got limits of, you can have sort of a limited amount of land and you've got 250,000 to buy all of your equipment. And so he did that, he started playing, and then one of his viewers actually suggested what you should have done was go for more Clarkson realism and maybe buy a ridiculously large tractor with ridiculously small equipment and do it that way, which is kind of amusing, I think. Oh, I don't have GPS on this. I was just going to say, shall I put GPS on this? And we can actually get the rows fairly consistent. But of course, I only have GPS on my big tractors and the Valtra, and Valtra, it's not big enough to hold this. This is a 185 horsepower piece of equipment. So, obviously, the thing we did last week was get all the fields topped, well, the sugar beet and potato fields topped, so we can now drive on those without destroying the crop. If I can figure out what buttons to press. So this is not going to take long to fill up. I mean, as you can see, I just did that short stretch there, and we're over 50% full. I don't think we're going to make it back to the gate. So sticking this off on a worker is going to be, like I said, yeah. Let's extend the thing. But it's only a 6,000 load, so we get 5 loads of this. Into this guy. Which I guess is kind of good. There's still going to be a lot of haulage today. Oops. Oh, come on. Just knock that fence over. The one problem with this trailer is it is kind of long. Does fortunately have very low sides, so long as the tractor can get under there, we shouldn't have too much problem unloading the harvester. So we're going to make this. I mean, this isn't even a full row. This is crazy talk. Once we break out into the main field area, this is just gonna be stopping every couple of 100 yards to unload. Anyway, that's engine on. Fine. And this tractor's a little short on diesel as well, so. Brake to the right, stay inside the field, lift that up. So the other guesswork this week is Giants released a fact sheet Friday, which includes a new ideal harvester, which is actually more the size of our Fendt harvester. So sort of a mid-sized harvester, and a couple of other big pieces of equipment. They've said this is an equipment DLC. And from prior DLC drops, we're probably looking at, I want to say, about 2 to 4 weeks of Fact Sheet Fridays until the DLC drops. And typically we will get a patch with each DLC drop. So we already know they've got a bunch of bug fixes upcoming. One of which was in the store. And nobody had found it until the Studio 82's TLX 2020 dropped, and that basically said, yeah, you got a bug in the shop. So they did have to remove that mod because it was causing consoles to crash. But apparently that fix is in the new patch when that does drop. So we'll see what's going on there, I guess. And we are full again. Okay, let's back this up. Problem is I'm always unloading on that side. Stop. So I'm always going to have to move the Challenger out of the way whenever we unload. Yeah, 6,000 per load, so yay. And the Valtra is still going strong, so that's good. I think there's a little bit of a delay on how this actually works. It takes a little while for the sugar beets to work their way through the harvester to the reception point. So you can drive a little ways with nothing harvested and then it all of a sudden starts. Anyway, hopefully, I don't think we're even going to make it to the turnaround point. Nope. Oh. No, yes, no, maybe. Lift that up. I think for the most part, so long as I get most of it, I will probably have to drive around the edge of the field and get the final bits. Now actually, we're going to need to stay forward so we can get the Challenger under the conveyor. But at least this time I don't have to move the Challenger. I do have to move the Challenger. Oh yeah. So anyway, this will put us up to 18,000. Here we go. And back off a bit. That should give us enough room for the case to back up. Okay. There we go. And there we go. Okay, some reason the drive stopped. I need to lower that. And we should be good to run a strip here. And again, I don't think I'm going to make it all the way to the other end before this is full. But yeah, the volume of this collector, 6,000 litres, it's got a good working width, I'll give it that, but 6,000 litres, it fills up so quickly you can't stick this on a worker and run back to the yard. If I was doing this and I could send workers carting, I would need 4 or 5 tractors doing the carting, and they would get in each other's way because of the width of the roads. Looking at the yield map, we seem to be doing okay with our yield. It should be the best. I mean, we did ideal pH, ideal nitrogen levels. And we probably have about 500,000 litres of stuff on the field, so yay, that's going to be a lot of fun. And again, tractor does not want to move. And there we go. Yeah, similar problem I have with sometimes with the mowers. I have to raise the front mower in order to get the tractor moving, because for some reason it just digs in and tractor's drive does not engage. Of course, it would be nice to have a self-propelled harvester for this, but really not gonna be financially worthwhile here. And we can look at that with where is it? Sugar beet technology. If we went for that, it's 25,000 to lease per hour, well, plus the hourly, so that's a lot of money, plus it's $500,000 to buy. And like I said, I prefer to have land than I do big equipment. Big equipment's nice. Obviously you can get the task done a lot quicker with big equipment, and like we found with our new harvester, I'm spending far less time harvesting this year than I have in previous years. But we're really not in any great trouble with time. So, you know, I've got, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's 5 hours possibly to do this harvest today. Then we got all of tomorrow, all of the day after. So we're not really rushed to get it all done. And that's primarily what I'm looking at here, is you know, if I can get the work done in the time allotted or time available, then why should I even worry about you know, how big the equipment is? It's just going to take me a while. And it's worth it in the end of the day. We get a lot more money per acre from sugar beets and potatoes than we do from wheat and barley, or even soybeans for that matter. FarmSim does compensate you for the amount of labour you have to put in to extract the crop from the ground and get it to the sell point. It's done. And lower that there. So as soon as this is full, we'll take the Challenger back to the yard. That was actually a good place to finish the unload. So a little bit unrealistic. We have a multi-fruit extension silo on our farm, and that was primarily to allow us to store triticale, spelt and rye, because there is no native storage on this map, which technically there should have been. The farming agency did add additional crops to the map, but they didn't add them to the silos that are included on the map. So I've added a multi-fruit extension just so that I can store those 3 crops, but it does mean I can put things like sugar beets and potatoes in the multi-fruit extension as well. Now in the past I've tipped them on the ground, just let them sit, and then we've used a belt system to load up grain carts or carts to take them to market when the price is the best. But I can now stick them in the silo, so that's okay. Now, towards the end of this particular harvest, I am going to pull the pallet maker out, because I think I'm going to want about 50,000 litres of sugar beets in pallets, so that I've got something available to feed the sheep. Now, technically I don't have to do that. I could just tip them in the silo, leave 50,000 litres in the silo, and then use a trailer to cart them to the sheep pen. But we've put sugar beets in pallets in the past. It's what we do on this farm, so I'm going to keep up doing that. So I might not do a full complete the harvest today. We'll get it started. It's, like I said, it's a lot of labour, so we'll just keep harvesting and hauling until it's all done. I wonder how the silage is doing. That is still fermenting. Okay. Starbucks 64, welcome to Saturday's stream, and thank you for the sub. Subscribed for 4 months on a 2-month streak. Thank you. And we just, wow, we drove through that fence, or is there not a fence in that hedge? I'm guessing there's not a hedge in that fence. Fence stops, yeah, fence stops there, and there's nothing there. Okay. There was Oxygen David doesn't usually let you drive through hedges, so that was the thing. That probably not a good idea to turn around back there, because there's really not a lot of space at the moment. So I might use the cut through and run around that way.